Yo, what's going on, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. And today we're going to be starting Act 3 of the Energy Amplifier Initiation event. Now it's going to take us into Dragon Spine here. We are already in front of it, kind of. It's somewhere over there. I think I can see the crystal. Looks like we're fighting some Fatuis. Let's go ahead and get over there and get it started. Today, again, I think we're going to keep the same system as last time. We're going to do 2 of these today, and then in the last one we'll do one of them and the 2 different domains that you get to do. So let's break the crystal. Oh, this is not the character I wanted. I apologize. Is that an Iceman or is that a Waterman? Appears to be an Iceman. You always want to take out Watermen first because Watermen heal everybody else. Well, at least since it's Fatui, there were only 2 enemies. Okay, so where are we going next? This way. Oh, that reminds me of something. I got a comment the other day on one of my videos. Now, I think that this person who commented that's probably the first video of mine that he's ever watched. So I don't really take it to heart. I just thought it was funny, so I thought it'd be funny to talk about. But he said that I talk too much in the video. And I was like, my response to him was to make like a snarky comment like, okay, sorry, I will just make silent videos for you from now on. Obviously, I'm not gonna do that. But when I think about it, like that's kind of the whole point of the video. Like anyone could just play the game, right, and experience what the game is, but the whole thing about it being a video that you want to watch is there's like something else going on that adds to it, right? So I guess that's the one thing that I just wanted to talk about. I wanted to bring up, like, do I talk too much? I don't feel like I do, because I get really self-conscious when I feel like I haven't talked in like 5 seconds or something. I'm like, oh god, it's terrible, I haven't said anything and people are gonna be sad. And it happens sometimes, like when I'm transitioning from area to area and I wasn't necessarily talking about something at the end of an area, then I kind of like am silent and don't really know what to talk about. The other time I'm silent is when we're doing like a story section and I don't want to interrupt the story that's going on, which I think is fine. I don't see any problem with being more silent during some exposition in the game. And every once in a while, like, I'll wait for them to finish their sentence, or I'll like briefly interrupt them to say something, but only when I think it's appropriate or I think it will add to it. But yeah, do you guys think that I talk too much? I really, like, no matter what input, I probably wouldn't change my style too much, because it's kind of just like the natural flow of how I make videos. But I'm kind of curious, because I listen to my videos and stuff too, and so I kind of got an idea of what I think like sounds good or adds well to the video. And I don't really think that I talk too much. So it was kind of just a curious thing, because I've never heard someone say that before, and I just thought it was kind of silly, because I was like, that's the whole point of the video, is that I'm talking and adding to it, right? But let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys have the same opinion and just no one's wanted to share it. Or maybe you think I don't talk enough, even though I try to be talking all the time. Like right now we've just had like a solid chain of thoughts for a little while. And I think that's pretty good. Like, the only reason I'm still continuing this is because I don't really know what to talk about afterwards, so. But yeah, let me know what you guys think as well. I'm getting really sick of these missions with these stupid fire Fatui, because I don't use a water character. Oh, that brings me to the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because I know in the last one I got super frustrated because of the fire Fatui, right? Now, the thing that occurs to me is, and it just kind of proves my point even more, is there's only 3 characters that would have been useful. Is there another rock somewhere? There's a rock up there. I was like, why are these guys so freaking tanky? But it occurs to me, there were only 3 characters in the game that would have made that situation at the end of the dungeon yesterday better. And 2 of those characters I do not have, so I can't really be blamed for it. And the third one is Barbara, so I can't really be blamed for not wanting to use Barbara, I feel like. But maybe that's just me. Now, the reason these guys are so freaking annoying is because the only thing that really breaks their shield is water. Ice doesn't really do anything to their shield. It does something, but not very much, as you can see. And if you use fire on them, the fire absorbs more into it than other elements would, so fire is less effective against even just doing health bar damage past the shield. So the only 3 characters that would have helped, you would need both a water character, and since the electrifying field was the way it was, you would also need a ranged character, because the second you leave, you can no longer use your elemental bursts anymore, because if you get damaged by that lightning field, then it lowers your energy, and therefore you don't have enough to do an elemental burst. So in theory, could you have used something like Jingshu? Yeah, but that would mean that you're running out into the open, and the only tool you have to actually break their shield is his elemental skill. And even if you have Sacrificial Sword, his elemental skill used twice, I don't know if it's actually enough to break their shield. But I don't use Jingshu, so that's not really an option for me. Now, the other characters that you could use that actually meet the criteria of being both water and ranged are A, Barbara, which everyone has, but who really wants to use Barbara? I don't really have her leveled up, but she could have served the purpose of breaking the shields. But then essentially I have a character that's just useless in every other way, except for breaking the shields, right? Now, the other 2 characters are Child, which I don't have, or Tartaglia, or Mona, which I also don't have. So, you've made a challenge that requires me to have one of 2 5-star characters, or use Barbara, which I don't use. So that's why I thought the challenge was stupid, because there aren't any Hydro bow users that are 4 stars. I think if there was I went the wrong direction. I was like, what the heck? I got distracted collecting all these bamboo things, and I just straight up walked the wrong direction. But yeah, if you're gonna make a challenge that essentially requires you to have a ranged water character, then you should have some more options, right? Like, there's no 4-star ranged water character besides Barbara. What they need is like a bow character, like Tartaglia. And even Tartaglia is a little bit weird, because the only way you can get hydro damage from range with Tartaglia is with his charge shot, because he is essentially a melee character otherwise. So it's kind of awkward. It's almost like use Mona or fail. But I obviously don't have Mona. So yeah, that's pretty much why I was so annoyed by that. Not only did I like get unlucky, and I was kind of considering it, because I swear one of the times it looked like the shots from that guy curved, and I don't know if they did or not, but I was wondering if Zhongli's shield is a hitbox. Like, you see how I have these shields around me and they're bigger than how big Zhongli is? I wonder if something can hit the shield without actually coming in contact with Zhongli, and then if that would count as hitting the character and therefore do damage. Because that's how I died one of the times, and that really annoyed me as well. Was I swear I had dodged the shots, but then it hit me anyways and killed me, because it was enough damage to finish off the rest of the shield and then still do the damage to my health that was required to finish me off. But yeah, those are kind of like the things that I was thinking of. How do I get over there effectively? I guess we teleport for this one, because I don't want to... You'd have to walk all the way up to the north if you're going to get across there. But yeah, those are just some of the things that I've been thinking about. Let me know if you guys think that I talk too much, or if you think it's a good amount, or just really anything. I like to talk to people in the comments, but it doesn't happen too often because we don't have that many people. Except for that one video, and that's the video where that person commented on. That one summoning video. For some reason, people really like it, and I kind of get like why it would be popular, because it's kind of like a timeless thing. Like the standard banner is always going to be there for everyone, so anyone who wants to watch a video about summoning, that video, I didn't even know there was a chest in here. I don't know why I thought to check, but yeah, that video is always going to be relevant because the standard banner is always going to exist. So if someone wants to watch a video about summoning, then they probably want to pick something that's relevant to them. Whereas like my summoning, there's another chest? My summoning video on say like Hu Tao or Ganyu, those become irrelevant once Hu Tao and Ganyu aren't there anymore. Some people still might watch it just because they want to see what happens, or they want to just get an example, because every limited character banner is essentially the same like odds of getting the character. So you could watch a Ganyu summoning video to get an idea for how likely you are to get Zhongli in summoning for Zhongli, right? So it kind of transfers over, but I think people are more inclined to watch something that's directly relevant to them, such as a standard banner video where they can go to the standard banner right now, and their standard banner is going to be very similar to mine. The only thing that I think changes about the standard banner is I believe some weapons get added to it, and obviously after a while the newer 4 stars get added to it as well. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't started adding old 5 stars, limited 5 stars to the standard banner. That's the one thing that I've thought is really weird about how this game is doing the characters. Because a lot of games, you'll have, because I play Epic 7, and so I use that as an example a lot. But that one, you have limited characters that only come up like very rarely. Every 3 months or 4 months, you'll have a limited character that you can only acquire during the limited character period. We're going back over here again. But yeah, once that period is gone, you can no longer get the character anymore. But the character tends to appear at that same time every single year. So if you did miss it because you started the game later, if you just wait for that like date range to come around again the next year, then you can likely pick it up. And usually they'll add new limited characters during that period again, because it's like a holiday season or something of the such that would warrant a limited character. So then all of a sudden, people who already have that old character aren't upset because there's a new character as well. But newer players can choose between getting the newer limited character or getting the old one, or if they have the resources, then maybe they can even get both. So I think that's kind of a good system, but this game has gone with every single new character is limited, which I find really odd, because so far no 5 stars have been added to the standard banner since the beginning of the game, which is really weird. It kind of decreases the value of the standard banner, which is why whenever anyone asks me, should I summon on the standard banner, I tell them no. Which I think that would apply to something like Epic 7 as well. I would still say no. Just because what you're getting is very random and you have no control over it, especially when something like a limited banner exists where you do have control over what you're getting. Where are these rocks at? Excuse me? But yeah, I always tell people don't summon on the standard banner. And it seems even more true for this game, just because none of the characters are being ever added to the standard banner. So the standard banner is just becoming less and less valuable as the game goes, as people are getting those characters already. And even if you want those characters that are on the standard banner, it's almost better to just summon on the limited banner instead, and because you have a higher rate of getting those standard banner characters on a limited banner. And that might seem counterintuitive, but unless you want a weapon, the standard banner really isn't worth anything. It's actually really bad. So I feel like they should change it. But like I said, even with Epic 7 having plenty of characters, like every month or so, at least, there's one character added to the standard banner. But you also get a rate up banner. Like we've seen Kaching be on a rate up banner. Which is kind of similar what they do in Epic 7, but in Epic 7's case, they have switched to a method where old characters, like every 2 weeks or so, a new old character appears on the rate up banner. And then like every month or so, a completely new character that will be added to both the standard banner and have its own rate up banner is added. So if you already have the old characters, then you still have like stuff to look forward to. I just find it odd that they aren't coming out with like a line of characters that is being added to the standard banner. I would kind of like to see that, because then at least it would give some reason to pull on the standard banner. Right now, I would say never use a single Primo Gem on a standard banner, because it just doesn't, like, it doesn't make any sense. You could instead wait for something that you want, like a limited character that looks cool, and spend your Primo Gems there, because then you know you're working towards something you want, and if you saved up for 2 pities, then you know that you are going to get that character for sure. Whereas in the standard banner, it's just a grab bag of old characters that you're less likely to get than just rolling on the limited banner. The limited banner is actually just more likely for you to get those characters. Now, if you're looking for weapons, then the weapon banner is just better for weapons. Really the only thing the standard banner does for you is it gives you a split between weapons and characters. So it doesn't really make sense, right? Like, it's almost always better to focus at something. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking. We're going to take a look at, since we finished the 2 sections that we were going to do, we're going to take a look at what crystals we got and see if there's anything that looks appealing before next time when we do our last round and get the last crystals. When any party member uses an elemental burst, the elemental roundabout effect is generated, which increases all party members' elemental mastery by 100 for 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. This effect is triggered again, wait, I think it's supposed to say again, but it says against at 3 stacks. A shockwave that deals AoE damage will be unleashed. That's actually really good, but not for my team. I mean, it's good for the combination of Ganyu and Hu Tao, because them having good elemental mastery is going to make them do better melts with each other. But the elemental mastery that we get for like Zhongli and stuff doesn't really matter. And those characters are obviously going to be doing stuff as well. They just won't be getting a benefit from it. So I'd almost just rather have this, right? Now, after using an elemental burst, all party members on the field will unleash 1 shockwave that scales on 600% of the attack of the character that unleashed the shockwave, and which deals damage to nearby opponents. This effect can occur once every 2 seconds. And its cooldown is shared between all characters. I feel like that's not very good. What else do we got? When their normal attack hits an opponent, they have a 50% chance to generate 5 energy for themselves. I mean, that's actually really good, but I don't think we need it. Is it better than this? Probably. It's almost certainly better than that. Because I'm auto-attacking a lot, especially with Hu Tao. So odds are that this is going to happen way more often. It's also 2.5 times as effective. So even though it's only a 50% chance and it's only every 4 seconds, it's giving 5 energy. I think it's more likely that every 4 seconds I'll be getting this than it is likely that every 2 seconds I'll be getting this. For 8 seconds, after a character uses an elemental burst, normal attacks that hit opponents have a 50% chance to generate an elemental particle Each character can generate elemental particles. So this is kind of like the same thing, only I would say worse, because it's based on the stipulation that you just use your elemental burst. It has a quicker timer to make up for it, but other than that, I think this one's just better because it doesn't have that same stipulation. Increases the elemental burst level of all party members. What? That's actually really interesting. That's really good, because it just means that everyone's going to be doing more damage, huh? Elemental skills will generate 8 energy. That's also really good, huh? Is that better? Because I'm kind of spamming my skills, right? So we could assume that if this is going off once every 4 seconds, then maybe we're getting 10 energy in 8 seconds. What am I doing in 8 seconds? I could, in theory, be using Zhongli's skill, Ganyu's skill, and Hu Tao's skill. Likely not Noel's skill. But that's 3 skills that I could be using every 8 seconds, essentially. A little bit more because I think Hu Tao's cooldown, or Hu Tao's uptime is actually 9 seconds. But that means that I'm generating 24 energy within that 8-second period instead of 10. So I think it's obvious that we remove this and instead put that on. Okay, let's see what new green ones we got. Elemental burst damage dealt by all party members increased by 30%. Also very good. What do we have green-wise at the moment? Decreases charge attack stamina. We might not actually want that. All party members. I feel like there's 2 of these that we could get rid of. The 100 elemental mastery and the stamina. But is this that good? I mean, it kind of is for Zhongli and Hu Tao. And I mean, it's good for all 3 of them, right? And then if Noelle comes out, her just dealing 30% more damage when she uses her shield combined with her elemental burst. Because her elemental burst lasts really long. And I kind of made it so her elemental burst actually does quite a bit of damage. So I feel like that one's actually really good. All party members' energy recharge increased. See, those are both really good. Do I want that more than I want the elemental mastery? I think for sure I want it more than I want that. Now, do I want this one more than I want the elemental mastery is the question. I don't think so. I think they have adequate energy recharges. Like Zhongli's energy recharge is fantastic. How I have him built, he almost always will have his elemental burst back up by the time it's off of cooldown, because he's got a good amount of energy recharge. And with all this other energy regen that we're getting with that every time you use a skill, I don't think we need that. Hu Tao's the only one who doesn't really generate her elemental burst that quickly. I'm kind of curious, what is the cost of her elemental burst? Why doesn't she generate it that quickly? It's a 60. Well, what's Zhongli's is also 60. No, Zhongli's is 40. That's why it's so easy for him. Hu Tao or Ganyu's also 60, but what's her energy recharge at? Her energy recharge is actually the worst out of all of them. I feel like she does fine with other people generating. Oh, that. I guess I didn't consider that, huh? Is that for every? Nope, that's not what I wanted. Is that effect for everyone? Wait, oh, it's up one of these. Regenerate 8 energy. I don't actually know how energy generation works, so I couldn't tell you in this case. Because 8 energy, say that I'm using Hu Tao, and she generates 8 energy. That means it's pyro energy, so she will receive 8 energy, right? But I don't know the calculation for any character that's not currently in. And on top of that, the calculation for any character that is not of the matching element. So say Hu Tao generates 8 energy, but I have a Klee in the backline. I don't know how much energy Klee gets because she is a pyro character and I'm receiving pyro energy. So I don't know if Klee gets 100% or if she gets less for being on the bench. And then say we're talking about Zhongli, he is not a pyro character and he's on the bench. So I don't know if he gets 50%, if he gets 25%. I just don't know how that conversion actually works. But this should at least give energy to the whole party. It just, I don't think we'll give 8 to everyone. I think it will give 8 to whoever did it, and then it will give a portion to everyone else, is what I'm thinking. But I could be wrong. Maybe someone else knows the energy regen. Kind of had a lot to talk about today. Maybe we'll actually have some discussions in the comments because I like to talk to people. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'll see you next time with the rest of this event. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.